5-minute call, the Honourable Tour of Flavel.
Tānui te mihi kia koe o tira ki a tātaka toa. Hei tīmatanga kōrero māku me pēnei rawa te kōrero. Ko rangi ko papa ka puta ko rongo ko tāne māhuta ko tangaroa. Ko tūmatauinga ko haumi e tiki ko tāwhiri mātea. I tokona te rangi ki runga ko papa tuana ko ki raro, ka puta te ira tangata ki te whai au ki te ao mārama. Ko ia rā e rongo whakairia ki runga tūturo whiti wakamaua kia tīna. Tīna hui e, tai ki e. Mr. Speaker, I recited a very brief karakia. Some might say a whakapapa, some might say just an ordinary kōrero, but I think that kōrero actually sets out the relationship that Māori have with their environment, with our environment. And you'd understand too, as being a member who've been here a long time, that kaitiakitanga is a kaupapa, one of the founding kaupapa of the Māori Party. Protecting the environment, sir, and giving legislative effect to the important cultural and spiritual relationship that our people have with the environment has been one of the key focus areas that we've worked on in Parliament since I've been here. And indeed the Māori Party has been here. And in giving effect to kaitiakitanga, we promote sustainable development of the natural resource, but the protection and restoration and enhancement of our environment. So when the National Government announced its intention to fundamentally rewrite the RMA in favour of economic development in 2013, our position was pretty clear. The Māori Party, along with the United Future Party, would not support such a fundamental change that would weaken the core environmental principles and purposes of the Act. Sections 6 and 7, Part 2 of the Act affirm the national importance of preserving our national environment, our natural environment, including, and I quote, the relationship of Māori and their culture and traditions with their ancestral lands, water, sites, wāhi tapu and other taonga, end of quote. So on that basis, the government's proposed RMA reforms were effectively stalled for 2 years. Earlier this year, the National Party released a broad outline of its proposed RMA reforms and signalled its desire to achieve a broad political consensus. Mr. Speaker, we signalled that we would be happy to support procedural changes that reduce unnecessary bureaucracy. We share the general concerns of most New Zealanders, which is to increase the supply of affordable houses for all whānau. We also recognise that some of the proposed changes around streamlining the consent process and creating national templates will save time and money for homeowners. So, sir, for the last 9 months, we've had discussions with the National Party in good faith to reach a compromise position. We have sought advice from independent practitioners and iwi leaders' technical advisory group, and I'd like to acknowledge the immense value of working with the iwi leaders group and independent practitioners at the pre-stage bill. Their input has been critical to securing our political support. The working groups have worked their way carefully through the 180 pages of the resource legislation and almost 700 pages of the current RMA. They've identified some key areas for change and others for further negotiation. So, Mr. Speaker, against all of this background, it leads the Māori Party to support this resource legislation amendment bill. Our major achievement has been achieved, and that is to retain sections 6 and 7 with some small amendments. Can I acknowledge Dr. Nick Smith, the Honourable Dr. Nick Smith, for working with us to achieve a positive outcome to this point in time. But it's not all over as yet. So we have contributed new provisions to the RMA, including a requirement for all local councils around the country to better engage with iwi as mana whenua and kaitiaki of natural resources in their rohe. Iwi and hapu have a vital role to play in keeping the balance between the protection and development of the local environment. We realise that some councils are well advanced in their relationship with mana whenua, but there are many others that are not. The new provisions proposed in the Act will not override existing mechanisms for iwi participation outlined in treaty settlements or override iwi management plans. The new provisions will have iwi involved at the front end of local council planning rather than responding at the end. Mr. Speaker, to be clear, we do not support every single provision of the bill as it stands. However, we are satisfied with the point that we have reached with our negotiations with the National Party and indeed with the Honourable Nick Smith, and the commitment made by the National Party to address these concerns as we work through the Select Committee process. We will be supporting it that far and look forward, as Mr Parker mentioned, to having good debate that would be where all parties can contribute, and look forward to seeing how it goes into the future for this bill. And my colleague Marama Fox will, I think, outline further the things that the Māori Party has contributed in framing up this piece of legislation. Ka nui te mihi.